Okay, so this video I'm going to be going over the new strategy. It's going to be the UFX trend following strategy that's just been added to the package. The package is $25 per month if you're interested in it. I'm going to go over showing how to practice this strategy within using the Forex Simulator. If you don't have it, I'll put the link in the description. It's a great software, great tool to use. It's, I believe, $100 for this software for the MT4 platform. And as you can see, it's a very powerful simulator and great for practicing the strategy. Get comfortable with it, see how it works, get your risk management down and your risk reward down as well. I'll show you how to quickly set it up, and then we'll go over the charts, what indicator is going to be involved in this package, and how the strategy works, and actually show you the strategy, losing trades, winning trades for the last month on the US dollar pairs. So there's going to be a few videos put out. I'm not going to go over the simulator each video. This main one here, I'll go over it, and maybe the next video I'll do a quick announcement of it. But the link is in the description. All you're going to want to do is open up a regular MT4 chart, any chart, it doesn't matter. It's an expert advisor, so you're going to go to your Soft4FX Simulator, drag and drop onto the chart, and then enter your details and hit OK. And now you're going to be looking at this same screen here. You're going to want to go to the data center if you're new and you haven't used this yet. Click on the pairs that you want to download for, and then you can hit the download all selected, or you can just do one at a time and just hit download. It'll give you historical data for 1 year. You can go back many more years than that, but you only really need the last year for practicing. So close that out. I've already got that. And then we're going to hit the new simulation. For today, we're going to start with doing the Aussie USD, and we're only going to do the last month. So we're going to head to, we're in August. We're going to do the last full month, which is going to be July. And we're going to go all the way to August 9th here. We're going to go based on a $1,000 account, and we are going to use a leverage of 1 to 500. Our fixed spread is going to be 24. During market hours, the Aussie USD is about 20 points, depending on what your account is, if you've got an ECN account or a standard account. But I think the average for the Aussie dollar is about 2 pips, or maybe just under 18 to 20 points. We're going to go higher, give ourselves a bit of a worse trading, which is going to be 24 points, 2.4 pips. So we're in that loss right off the hop, starting on in the trade. So let's start the simulation. Getting the charts set up, we're just going to go to the charts tab, and this strategy is based using the 1 hour chart only. Okay, standard 1 hour chart. We're going to add that, and we're going to hit OK. We're going to close this out and go to our template. Our template is going to be the UFX trend follower, and you can see we've got it all set up here now. So we use the 1 hour chart, but we're still looking at the daily time frame, because this, as you can see, the chart template here gives you your period separators, and between each separator is one daily candle. So we're still looking at the daily chart just through the 1 hour zooming in. Okay, so we're only going to be doing this strategy is based, we're looking at the end of the day. So we're going to be looking at our charts every day at the end of the day, managing our open trades or getting into new trades. Okay, so this is the time when you hit this last bar here, and your brokers is looking at the 0. This is when we want to look at the MT4 platform and either look for entering a trade or managing our trades, moving our stop losses, and all that stuff. And you'll see as we get started here within the trade. So let's quickly go over the indicators in the strategy. Just a candle, basic candle closing, time remaining, just lets us know when the candle is going to close. We got the MA slope, we got the fractals, which is already into your MT4 platform. we've got the Heiken Ashi, the UFX Heiken Ashi. Now that's these are my own bars here. You're going to see them change color as we go, and within this Heiken Ashi indicator, we also have our rules and a couple other things that's going to happen here. At the end of the day, we're going to have lines drawn. It's going to give us a stop loss and an entry point. In the simulator, it doesn't draw those because I can't go based on time within the simulation. So I have created a quick script for people, even if they want to practice this on their own in the Forex Simulator. They can use this script, and you'll see how I'm going to use it at the end of the day. Here, when the trade's set up, I'll just drag and drop this on, and it'll give me my lines that the actual UFX Heiken Ashi will automatically draw at the end of the day anyways. So just a little bit of a workaround because I'm working in the simulation here. Aside from that, the other one that's very important is the position size calculator. This isn't going to work in the simulator as well, but it's going to give us our lot sizes. It's going to calculate what lot size we should be using for our account based on 1%. You can change that to 2%, 3%, whatever your risk wants to be per trade. I'm going based on using the 1%. Within the simulation, you can see that we have our own risk percent scenario here. So it's got it pre-built into the simulation, which is great. I'm going to be risking 1% per trade on the 1,000, which equates to about $10. Okay, so we're going to click on visual mode. This way we can drag and drop our our entries and our stop losses to where our lines are on the chart. You'll see that here pretty quick as well. We're going to open up our trades window here so we can modify our stop losses as we're getting into profits, if we do get into profits. Okay. And another thing is you're going to see the buy setup checklist, the sell setup checklist. It goes over your Forex server, your leverage, gives you your balance, equity, margin, free margin, margin usage. So very important how much free margin is left, and also your margin usage, your time server, time local. Okay, so a couple good handy things here. Also the reset the checklist, and you'll see this when the time comes a bit closer to be using it. So let's get into this. I'm going to pause the video, and I'll come back when there's actual setup. I don't want you watching me. It'll be too lengthy of a video to watch me click through getting to the trade setup within the simulation. So I'm just going to pause the video, and I'll come back when I get a setup. Okay, so we got a potential short setup here. You can see, let's just go to our sell setup checklist here. We got the 36 EMA is all red. Okay, so that's this little guy here. You can see it's not all red, but it is blue up top here. Not a lot of blue going into the red. So I am going to mark that as being all red. If there was any green up here at all, then I would be leaving this as an X. But on our trade setups, a little bit of give here. When we got some blue going into the red, that's fine. I'm going to mark it as our checklist here. Okay, we got the price closed below the 200. You can see this line here is the 200, and our price has closed below it. Remember, we are checking this at the end of the day here at this time. Okay, the confirmation 36 crossed below the 200. No, we haven't crossed below the 200, so we leave that as an X. Now we've got to put this script on ourselves. We're just going to drag it onto the chart, and you can see we're going to be given our stop loss and entries. This is going to be done for you automatically within the indicator. It just isn't done like that in the simulation. So we're using this quick script here. So entry and stop loss, not a bad risk. I'd be risking about 20 pips. But in total, I'm going to be doing 1% anyways of the account. So I am going to take a stab at this. We've got 2 of our 3 marked so that we can take a trade for this. We only take 2 attempts on one of the setups. So this is going to be considered doing my first attempt here. I can have one more shot if this one fails, and then that's it for this setup. I wait for a completely new setup. Okay, so we're going to go to our pending orders, and we're going to hit the sell stop. Okay, we're not going to do the take profit. Now you can see this is going to be the visual mode here. We just drag and drop our stop loss up here where our stop loss is, and we want our entry here. So we're doing the sell stop. We're going to hit accept, and our order is waiting. And now we'll just go through and see what happens here if we get filled. If it continues up, now we check it at the end of the day here. You can see we're right here at the end of the day. We've gotten our confirmation now that the 36 crossed the 200, so I can check mark that. That's a better confirmation here. We haven't really done much. We kind of went sideways here. We got triggered here at the bottom. We could easily pop up and take us out. So we'll see what happens. I like the confirmation here. At the end of the day here, we want to check it. We want to look and see if our stop loss, if we can move it anywhere. Obviously, I'm not going to move it down here. This is what we use in the fractals for. I'm not going to move it down here. It's too close to price action. If I was to move it down here, I might just close out the trade because I'm going to get taken out. So give the trade some room to breathe. And the following day, we've got a nice drop here. And we look at the trade at the end of the day here. Now you can see we've got some fractals down here. Same thing, these down here, we're only about 10 pips away. So I do want to move my stop though. We're going to modify here. If you see up in the top corner here in the trade window, we are going to modify our stop loss and just bring it down. We're not going to go too crazy here. I'll go right about there and accept that. If I would have had a fractal up here, I would have used that. But right now, if it comes up, it might bounce off of these points here or this point here, or just hover around down here before dropping some more. So I'm happy with that. At least I'm at break even. We're going to continue and see what it does here. And we got taken out, popped up, and we're out of this trade. Okay, so I'm just going to pause the video. When I get a new trade set up, we will I'll show you the setup again. Okay, so we got a potential buy setup. As you can see, this one here, this is where we got stopped out. And this day, when we go from a red into a green, that has a good potential turning point here. That's a good thing to look out for as well. The following day might give us a trade setup, which it has. So these are another good things with this indicator here. When we go from a red to a green day, we do have a potential of starting a new trend there as well. So the next day we might get a buy signal. So which is exactly what we have. We can reset our checklist. As you can see down below here in our box, we can just reset it and everything gets moved back to X's. We're going to look at the buy setup now. 36 EMA is all green. Yes. The price closed above the 200 moving average. Yes. We're using the 200 as dynamic support and resistance. As you can see, we rallied up into the 200 here, bounced off of it, and people went short here. We came up now. These guys got stopped out, or maybe they're holding it, and we're using this level as support. Okay, so dynamic support and resistance for the 200 is what we're using it for. Confirmation through 36 crossed the 200 EMA. No, it hasn't. We are getting tight there. Now, let's use our entry and stop loss tool. We see our entry is there and our stop loss is there. We're going to do one attempt on this. We've got 2 checked out of the 3. So that's a good to do our first attempt with. As long as the box is tight, we don't want a wide range box there. It just doesn't make any sense. Make sure the boxes are tight here. And let's put in our buy stop, our entry, our stop loss, and we're going to accept that. And we'll just see if we get triggered here. Okay, we got triggered here. And we're looking, this is on a Sunday here. We also got our confirmation, so we can check mark this box here. We finally got our confirmation here. That's a good sign. We have moved up quite nicely. I'm going to modify our stop loss. These double bars here, separators, is the weekend. We're going to move our stop loss up just to this bottom fractal here. If we come down, we're still a lot of loss. We could put it right up into just break even if we want to, or keep it just a little bit below. either way, our risk is pretty well off the table here. We're not risking much. Okay, so we've moved our stop up here, and we're just going to continue and see what this trade does. If we can get a nice trend to the upside, then we'll stay with it. And at the end of the day, when we look at our charts, you can see we're at the end of the day here, the period separator here. We look at the charts and see what we can do. We've got a lot of fractals here going to the upside. So we are just going to use these, not getting too close to this price action. But we do want to move our stop up here. So we're just going to go up to the modify button in the trades panel, and we're going to visually drag and drop it. So I'm going to move up into this area here, lock in some profits, accept, and we're just going to keep going with it. See if we get stopped out, see if we can just move around up there. And we ended up getting stopped out here, end of the day. And like I showed previously, when the red goes to the green, it has a potential for moving to the upside. And now we've got green heading over to the red here. So we do got a potential of a reversal trend and heading back down to the downside. So pay attention to these. The next day you might get a trade set up in that pair. Let's just pause it. And if we do get a trade set up, I'll come back and show you the trade. Okay, so we got a potential sell setup here. I'm just going to go over it. You can see over here on our checklist, we can reset these. We've been clicking them off. So let's just start fresh here and press the reset checklist button here, and then it'll turn these back all to X's here. So we're looking for the sells. Sell setup checklist, 36 EMA is all red. Yes, it is. And we're looking between the separators, I should mention, for the day. We're not looking anywhere past it. We're looking at the end of the day, what happened throughout this day. We can see that the 36 is all red here. That's why we're checking the box here. Price closed below the 200 EMA. Yes, it did. Confirmation that the 36 crossed below the 200. Yes, we got our red arrow here showing that we got the crossover. So everything's checked. We are going to use our entry and stop loss script. And we're going to look at the boxes and see how tight this range here. Can we get a good entry? If our risk is too much, which we know we're only risking 1% anyways, but if this box is way too high, volatility wise, we haven't hit a tight range, there's no point on taking it. 25 pips, I'm really to try that. We do have 2 attempts on this. Everything's been check marked, so I am going to take a stab at the first attempt on this setup. So we can mark our first attempt here, and we can do the sell stop and visually check our lines here. Put it to the stop loss here. And based on these, it's showing us what we're going to be risking 1%, which is about $10.17 here. And we're going to accept that. It's going to adjust our lot sizes. Our size is at 0.03 based on a $1,000 account, risking 1%. And that's what the position size calculator is going to do. That's over here. So it just doesn't work within the simulator. So let's just continue on and see how this trade works out. If we get stopped out or if we keep going, we can get into a trend here. Okay, so at the next day here, you can see we've come down a little bit more of sideways action. I can move the stop down into here. That's a little bit close, or about 15 pips from it. So I am going to modify it and take off some of the risk, but I'm not going to go down that low. I am going to keep it just above this area here in case we come up and bounce off of there. So we'll accept that. Like we all know, previous support is future resistance. So you can go based on that as well. But I do like to use the fractals if we get a nice big long drop. So we'll keep going and see what happens. Okay, we've had a nice drop here. We've got a good trend going here. So let's modify our stop loss. And we're going to use this fractal right here. And this is how I'm using the fractals for my stop losses. Okay, this is why I have them on there. We're going to continue going. See if this trend can keep going for us. Okay, Now these two bars, like I said before, it's the weekend. We're still moving down. We're going to modify our stop loss here again. And we've got this fractal right here. I'm not going to go anywhere lower than that. Give it some room. We've had a nice daily down bar here. So the likelihood is it's going to pop up here. We're going to get some sort of a retracement eventually. Maybe not, but that's what I'm anticipating. So I'm going to give it room to breathe. If we come back up here and stop out, that's fine. You want to give your trade some room to breathe here. Okay, so we went sideways. I'm going to modify and bring it down even more here. Still giving it some room. And we're still dropping. We're hit a nice trend on the Aussie dollar here. Modify. Back to the fractals here. You can see I could go above this one here, or I can go into this one. So it's up to you which one you want to do. It's relatively flat here. So I'm going to give it a little bit more room since we have had a nice drop down, and see if we get a big reversal, then I'll get stopped out. But I do want to give the trade some room. Okay, so we came up. We would have been fine on either one of these for our stops and still not stopped out. Now I'm going to come back down and use these fractals here. Put my stop loss and just see if we can continue to the downside here. Checking it at the end of every day. Great strategy if you're working. And same thing, just using the fractals here. And just going to continue with the trend. Okay, the weekend, modify, move our stop loss down, and accept. Okay, we're going to modify again, moving it down here. We've got this one's a little bit too close to the price action. We could start to tighten it up, but I'm going to still give it some room here and leave it up to the top part here. We've already hit some good long, lengthy run. So if it wants to keep going, great. You never know if it's going to, or if it's going to reverse and stop you out. So it's up to you on how you want to play it, but I use these fractals for, and with the strategy, you use the fractals for your stop losses or previous support just above it, as it could act as resistance. Okay, so we just keep going here, and looks like we're turning around. Nope. End of the day here. We're going to modify our stop loss and tighten it up into this one here. Keep going. It looks like we're going to start, we're getting some green there now. We'll bring it down a little bit more. And we did get a V here, red into the green, and we've closed the day here above, but we still opened it. So this is more of a reversal when you get these V's like this. It's a good kind of a heads up that there is a potential that we could be going long here. Also, we went from red into the green. Pretty ugly price action though, but the V's are indications that it could be reversing and going higher. And we got stopped out. And now we could be looking for new trades. We're going to reset the checklist here. And I'm going to pause and just look and see if we get some more trades setups. Okay, so we've come to the end of the simulation. You can see this was our last trade here. We got our V and it started to come up, and now we're turning over here. So who knows what it's going to do here. But for the month of July, about a month and a half, we're up 7% on a $1,000 account, which is pretty good. We're risking only 1% of the account. And you got to remember, there's going to be 28 pairs you could potentially trade depending on the spreads and the setup. So there's always going to be a setup. There's probably a setup every day to every 2 days with this strategy, with all the pairs. Plus, you've also got other things. You've got the commodities. You've got the silver, the gold. You've got the US dollar indexes. You've got the DAX. Whatever you want to trade on your MT4 that your broker lets you trade, you can use this strategy on. So you're open to a lot of possibilities. If you want to just do the Forex, you got the 28 pairs. Lots of opportunities for trades. You don't need to rush them. Like I said, you're only doing 2 attempts on each trade. You're not going to overtrade one setup. If the setup doesn't work after the second time, you've been stopped out twice, and you will see that in the future videos. I'm going to go over that and hit some trades where you're at a loss, you're in a drawdown. I don't want to just show you that your equity is going to be up, because that's not going to be the case. Some pairs are going to chop around and you're going to get chopped out. That's why we've got the rules in here for the 2 attempts. You've got your checklists. Make sure you've got 2 out of the 3 before you get into the trades. Make sure you're marking off your first and second attempt. You're not going to revenge trade if you lose twice. You're going to get rid of that and wait for a completely new, fresh setup. And that's it. Hopefully you guys liked the video. I will be putting out some more. I'll do the pound dollar next, and then do some of the other dollars, just so you can see as a basket what your account would be up or down for the month of July, which is the newest month right now. Anyways, we'll talk to you guys later.